Alright, hello everybody. Welcome back to another Cars 2 modding tutorial. So today's tutorial is going to be covering the basics of Cars 2 modding. And the basics is basically using Cars 2 Disney Infinity tools. What are Cars 2 and Disney Infinity tools? They are tools that are primarily developed for Cars 2 and Disney Infinity 1.0. So if you have any of those games, these tools will work for you. So this tool has been developed and created by TKFRVision. I will leave the link for the tools page in the description below just in case you need further context. But this tool has a variety of commands. You have Y just Y, scene decode, and scene encode. So as you can see here, this explains what exactly the tools do. So the Y command is a tool to pack unencrypted zips for Cars 2, Toy Story 3, and Disney Infinity 1.0 and 2.0. So you can run it using this command here, and it will create a zip with all the files in the input folder. I will provide further context and examples on how to use these commands later on, but for now, I'm just going to explain what exactly these tools do. So the Y tool is currently untested. It is unknown if it properly works, but it basically serves the same purpose as Y, except it's made for Disney Infinity 3.0, so we don't have to worry about that at all. It is not for Cars 2. Scene decode and scene encode are very useful. They allow you to edit some important files that are tied to characters and maps, such as OCTs and bents. You can extract them in XML format, which allows you to read them and edit them. So here's the command for using it. And scene encode is basically the same thing. Any changes you make, you will encode it back into whatever format it was in before. So now you're probably wondering, how can I use these tools? Or where can I get them? Well, the first step that you will need to do is you need to install Python. It has to be Python 3.10 or above. So you want to go to python.org and it will take you to the Python website. You want to head over to downloads, all releases, and here you can find a plethora of versions. So like I've just said, you want to find Python 3.10 or above. So you can't use Python 3.8, 3.9, or 3.7. They are not compatible. So you will need Python 3.10 or 3.11. I'm going to get a fresh install of 3.10. So you don't have to download the same version I am. It should be the same regardless of which version you get. But yeah, just find a version that you want. Scroll down to the download page or the files. You'll find files here and then download whichever version you will need for your PC. So 64-bit, I have a 64-bit PC, so I'm going to be downloading the 64-bit version. I'm going to download it right now, and then you're going to want to open it. So here, you should see the installer pop up. You're going to want to click this down here. This is very important. You will want to add Python to path no matter which version you have. You need this, otherwise the tool will not work at all. So once you have that checked, you want to customize installation. Make sure everything here is checked. You click next. Yeah, it seems like everything's already checked here. If you want, you can customize your install location, but everything that needs to be checked already is. But just in case, I would install this for all users because you never know, it might not work for you. You might be on a different user, but yeah, just in case, I'd install for all users, so make sure you check that as well. And then you install it, click yes, and it should be installed now. Alright, so now that you have installed Python, what you want to do next is install the Cars 2 Disney Infinity tools. So the first step you will want to do is just open your file explorer. You can right click, open a terminal, or you can type in the directory bar, you can type in cmd, which is what I normally like to do. And then the first thing you will want to type in is this command right here, pip install, and then you type in this link right here. I will leave these commands in the description below so you can just copy and paste them. And then once you have that command there, you will want to press enter. As you can see here, it will install everything, and there you go, everything's done. You may sometimes get updates for PIP or PIP, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but sometimes you might be prompted to update. So if you need to update, just type in or just copy and paste, it tells you the command is. And there you go. I've updated everything. I've just installed Cars 2 c2ditools. So now the next step is fairly simple. We are going to test out the tools and see if they work properly. So you will want to head over to your Cars 2 directory. You want to go to Assets. Just find any character, it doesn't matter. I'm going to scroll down and find McQueen. So I want to extract his files. As you can see, everything is extracting here. I already had a folder open, but I'm going to just do it again so I can get fresh new assets. You're going to want to head over into his folder. As you can see here, here's his OCT file. And this is what we are going to be decoding. So to decode OCT files and bent files and other stuff, this also works for maps. Maps also contain OCTs. They also contain .mir files, which are also present in character files, but since they don't contain any information, you can't actually extract anything out of them. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we will be just doing a simple extraction of McQueen's OCT. We will be converting it into an XML, a readable format that we can also edit, and then we will be encoding it back into an OCT. So now that you're in the characters folder, you want to open CMD once again. Once that's open, you want to type in the scene decode command so that you can decode or extract your OCT file. So you want to type in scene dec. Dec is short for decode. And then now here comes the important part. The input file is always first. So whatever file you're inputting, which in my case is mcqueen.oct, since I'm decoding it, it'll go first. And then the second file can be any name. You can call it like mcqueen.xml, or you can call it, I don't know, sally.xml. I don't know why you'd name it that. But since it's an output file, you get to choose the name of it. So in my case, I'm just going to call it mcqueen.xml since it's easy to remember. And you could simply just click enter after this, but if you want to extract the character's textures as well, you can do -T, and then whatever your texture folder wants to be called. I like calling it textures, so I know I extracted the textures in that folder, but you can call it something like McQueen textures, stuff like that. So I'm just going to press enter, and there we go. The command did its job. As you can see right here, mcqueen.xml has been made, and I got McQueen's textures right here. So now all we want to do is make a simple... Alright, so all we want to do now is simply encode the XML back into an OCT, which is basically the same thing, just doing the reverse. So you want to do the command scene enc, which is short for encode, and then you want to type in mcqueen.xml since this is your input file and you're outputting it as mcqueen.oct, and then you also want the OCT to read the textures, so you want to do -T McQueen textures again, and then you enter it, and there you go. You just got an updated mcqueen.oct file. So once you've edited your characters, what you want to do is turn it back into a zip. So you want to open CMD again in the same directory as your folder that you're trying to turn into a zip. The reason we have to zip it up this way is because the game can't read standard zip files, so you can't just compress this into a zip. You have to use the tool because the zip files are encrypted a certain way that the game can read. So what you'll want to do now is type in the Y command, since Y is used for encrypting a folder back into a zip. So since the folder is called McQueen, I'm going to type in McQueen, and then you have the output folder. But since the game is trying to read McQueen files, I'm going to name it McQueen.zip. And then you press enter, and your zip should show up. And that's basically it. That is literally how you use Cars 2 Infinity tools. Hopefully this tutorial gives you a better understanding of these tools and how you can use them.